So you got all the numbers that you need? I have one more.
32.
Call the roll, Mr. Clerk.
Alatorre, Bernson, Schick, Stewart, Galanter, Goldberg, Hernandez, Holden, Miskowski, Ridley Thomas, Fornich, Wax, Walters, Ferraro, 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Without objection, the minutes are approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Unanimous vote. Next order.
On our regular agenda, we have a request for continuances. Item number 32, request to be continued until March 30th.
32.
Yes.
Without objection, continuing item number 32 until March 30th.
Item number 34, request to be continued until April 20th.
Without objection, continue item number 34 until April 20th.
Item number 39, a request to be continued until Friday, March 19th.
Without objection, continuing item number 39 until March 19th. Next order, Mr.
Item number 22, a request to be continued until March 23rd.
Without objection, continue item number 22 until March 23rd.
On the regular agenda, item number 5 is confirmation of city official.
Wait a minute. Hang on. This one, 2 weeks?
Yep.
What item?
That's item 19.
Okay. Mr. Clerk?
Item number 5 is a confirmation of city official reappointment of Craig Lawson to LA Convention and
All right.
Exposition
Would
Center.
Mr. Lawson come forward? And also, I'm understanding that there's a request by the mayor to continue item number 19 for 2 weeks. So without objection, item 19 will be continued 2 weeks. Mr. Lawson, welcome.
Thank you.
Members of council, is there any discussion? This is a reappointment. It's been moved and seconded, a reappointment of Mr. Craig Lawson to the Los Angeles Convention and Exhibition Center Authority. Any discussion? Open the roll. Close the roll.
10 ayes.
That's approved.
Thank
Congratulations.
you very much.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 18, confirmation of city official reappointment of Catherine Moray to the Board of Metropolitan Water District.
Would Ms. Moray come forward, please? Is there anyone other than Mr. Alatorre objecting to this now? Is there any discussion, members of council? Yes, the chair recognizes Mr. Leonard Shapiro.
Mr. President and members of the council, I originally signed on 19, which you postponed, but the item number 18 is the same similar arguments are involved. You are appointing a person to be a member of the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. And too many people don't understand what the Metropolitan Water District or the MWD does. I've been to many of their meetings. They have 51 members. Can you picture 51 members sitting there in 2 rows? And they talk about an awful lot of things, and they're involved with a big bureaucracy that's involved there. But I think there's certain basic issues that the MWD is in connection with the city council, what the members who are going to be to represent the city on the MWD have to be aware of. And the most important thing is that the MWD controls all the Colorado River water that comes into this area and the entire Southern California. It also is responsible for the distribution of water down from the northern part of the state, but basically Colorado River. Now, recently we know that somebody has been trying to pull a fast one over the MWD board. That's the Bass Brothers, who bought up all kinds of property in the Indio Valley, and with no intention of farming the land, but getting the water and then selling the water to San Diego, San Diego was dealing with the MWD, and it all becomes a conglomeration, and nobody is actually sure what's happening. But the point is, since the MWD is primarily responsible for utilizing Colorado River water as it comes into Southern California in the best possible way. I think that any member who represents the city council should be cautioned that if people come in and buy a property, farm property, not to farm it, not for agricultural uses, but just to make money, they should be forewarned that this city council doesn't look at this without a jaundiced eye. It's not right, and the city should not be involved with this, and any representative that the city has should be well aware that the Bass Brothers and other people like them are using the MWD for their own purposes to get more money out of the use of water which they're getting from the Colorado River. This and other items should be very well taken into consideration by any appointee that has to be approved by the City Council. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? If not, the public hearing is closed. Members of council, is there any discussion or questions of Commissioner Moret? All right, if not, open the roll. Close the roll.
10 eyes.
Unanimous approval.
Thank you.
It's my understanding that also on number 19, Mr. Shapiro, that was also a request from Council President Ferraro to also have it continued. Next order.
Items number 1 through 4, items noticed for public hearing.
All right. 1 through 4 are public hearings. I have requests to be heard on item number 1. If there's anyone in the audience wishing to be heard on either items 2, 3, or 4, would you fill out a card and hand it to the sergeant? Let's go to item number 1, Mr. Clerk. Item number 1 is a public hearing item, and I'm going to call the people who filled out cards in the order that I have them. Hans Sifrig, is it? Followed by Pete Kim. Yes, just go right there to the microphone. It's adjustable, and speak right directly into it. You have to speak directly into the microphones.
I have some handouts for the council.
Could the sergeant please take the handouts from Mr. Sifrig, please?
Okay, this is one for each council. This has pictures and other information you may want to
Yes, go right ahead.
Good morning, President, members of the council. My name is Hans Sifrig, and
Thank you.
I, with a partnership, own 2 pieces of property on Figueroa Street in Highland Park. And I'm here not to ask for favors, but I'm here to ask for fairness. And I have you write up, which I'm going to read here, that I prepared yesterday. It's a chronology of what happens to those properties, and you will find out why I don't, or why I'm here. It's cleaning of city-owned property. On January 10, 1991, the City of Los Angeles acquired portions of the above-mentioned properties. There's a map in one of the handouts on the back. You may have to thumb through it. From Fourcourt Forest Civic Partnership, or also called the Partnership further on, of which I'm a partner. The land was purchased for the purpose of realigning Figueroa Street. The purchased areas represent about 25% and 40% respectively of each parcel. At the time of sale, I was advised that the realignment of Figueroa Street would be completed the same year, which was 1991. The partnership maintained the cleanup of the remaining property which the partnership owned. At no time did the partnership clean or maintain the property sold to the city. However, the partnership was presented with a tax lien for cleaning the city's portion, which was not owned by the partnership at this time. When the realignment work was delayed by a year, as advised by Mr. Henderson, the city engineer from the City Engineering Department, the partnership decided to clean both the partnership's properties and the city's properties to avoid unnecessary and, in our opinion, unfair cost. These unfair costs were billed to the partnership for maintenance costs on the properties not owned by the partnership, but now owned by the City of Los Angeles. The one-year delay of the street realignment turned into an open-ended delay. It is now 1999 and the work still has not been started. However, according to Mr. Louis Canaha, who works for the city, 213-847-5593, acting as the interim city engineer, I think, he replaces Mr. Henderson, who retired. The realignment will be completed this year. In January 1997, Mr. Alatorre's office, the Los Angeles Police Department, and the Building and Safety, Mr. Javier Landeros at 213-368-7272, contacted the partnership regarding the condition of the properties. Apparently, a homeless man had moved in onto one of the lots after the house contiguous to the two lots were demolished by the city. Alatorre's office, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, requested that the partnership complete the trespass arrest or authorization, thus giving them permission to arrest the homeless person. We complied with their request. Building and Safety posted an abate order to clean up and fence the property, both the partnership and the City of Los Angeles. They also advised the partnership that they would complete this work for an estimated cost of $14,000. After the abate order was posted, I met with Mr. Landeros at the Figueroa Street location to discuss it. Since a portion of the property was purchased by the City of Los Angeles, I believe that the partnership is only responsible for the cost of cleanup and fencing of its property, not that of the city's. Mr. Landeros agreed to this. At this time, I also advised Mr. Landeros that if the partnership is required to fence its property, it will no longer perform the goodwill gesture of cleaning and maintaining the city's property, when in fact it is the city's responsibility to clean and maintain its own property. Mr. Landeros advised me that it is the city engineer's office which is responsible to clean up and maintain the city-owned property, and that he will inform Mr. Henderson of his department's responsibility for the cleaning. I advised Mr. Landeros that I will clean both lots, including the city's property, of all vegetation, including trees, bushes, weeds, and other debris, prior to installing the fencing as the abate order required. On April 24, 1997, I called Mr. Henderson at 213-847-6301. He advised me that on June 30th, the bid will be awarded and realignment will be completed by January 1998. I received an important notice that the partnership's property is to be cleaned, or else after May 27, 1998, it would be cleaned up and the partnership would be built. On June 1st, 1998, I cleaned the partnership's lot. At this time, there was a homeless person living on the city's property. On June 2nd, 1998, Mr. Henderson told me that the job had been awarded. However, since the funds were absconded by a nearby apartment owner, the work will not be started and the city will have to restart condemnation proceedings. I also called Officer Chavez at the Northeast Division to report the homeless person living in the city's property.
All right. Do you have more to go?
Yes. It's not very much.
Okay.
I also called Mr. Landeros and advised him that the city's property had never been cleaned since I last cleaned it in February. I made several phone calls to Mr. Essington, Mr. Hancock, Mr. Henderson to determine who will clean up the city's property. None of these gentlemen returned my calls. Mr. Landeros has called, in his words, the appropriate people to inform them that it is the city's responsibility to clean their property. He left me a message that the city will take care of their property. On August 13th, the partnership received a letter from Public Works Lot Cleaning Division informing the partnership that it is in violation of the annual weed abatement ordinance. The partnership should therefore contact them or they will complete the work for $4,000 to $6,000. The letter was signed by Mr. Moore. On August 17th, I called Mr. Moore and explained the current situation. He advised me that he will put the letter in abeyance and speak to the person involved, including Mr. Henderson and Mr. Landeros. On August 24th, I cleaned the partnership's property. Also on August 24th, I called Mr. Moore and was connected to Mr. Trawick. He advised me that Mr. Moore was not in. I told him I would call back. When I called back, I was advised that Mr. Moore had retired. I then again called Mr. Trevick and repeated my situation. He advised me that he will investigate and get back to me. I sent him a fax with notes, maps, and phone numbers. I also mailed him pictures. On August 31st, Mr. Trevick informed me that the city will clean up the city's property and get rid of the homeless. He also informed me that the city's property is not a legal lot, but it presently a right-of-way because it does not have a parcel number. I informed him that I will be at the next City Hall meeting when this will be discussed. On February 23rd, I tried to telephone Mr. Henderson and I was informed that he also had retired. I was also referred to Mr. Louis Ganaha, who was filling in until a new replacement of Mr. Henderson is appointed. I again repeated my situation, this time to Mr. Ganaha, and to my surprise, he said that it is the city's responsibility to clean up its own property.
There are a lot of people that want to be heard. Could the staff come, hang on 1 minute. Is there staff here on this? Members of council, I'm going to suggest that perhaps we can continue this one item for a week, and the staff can get together with this gentleman to see if there can be any resolve to it and make a report to us a week from today, because, go ahead. You want to come forward? If you're the staff, do you want to sit at the table here? Is there a problem with that? Because this is, we have a long agenda. Yes.
I'm terribly sorry. My name is Mike Trawick. I'm superintendent with the Lot Cleaning Division. There is somewhat of a problem postponing this. We are on a timeline with our annual weed abatement ordinance. Mr. Siegfried's story is partially true. I've talked to him earlier today and advised him that I would be happy to work with him and try to get his issues rectified with the engineer's office and with land use. He indicated that he still wanted to speak before council today.
All right.
But as far as the implementation, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
Go ahead.
Finish.
As far as the implementation of the 1999 ordinance, we are on a timeline on
Okay,
that
then,
matter.
all right.
All right. I don't want to do, Mr. President, members, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize the timeline, but I would appreciate you working with the gentleman to see if there's a resolution. Now, what are we talking about? I mean, could we put this over for a day and see if you could work this out?
Well,
Or-
Mr. Siegfried's issue is really a minimal type problem, and I'm sure we can get it worked out.
Well, then deal with it. Then fine. I mean, then, what is your recommendation moving ahead on the 99?
That's correct. Moving ahead on the 1999 ordinance and allowing me the opportunity to deal with Mr. Siegfried on the issue that he's brought before council.
Mr. Siegfried, the staff is going to work with you to work out. He said that your problem is something that he thought could be addressed, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll be able to do that. So it's probably going to be best resolved by the two of you meeting together to do that.
One day is not going to hurt.
I have talked to Ms. Trevick before this meeting, and from my opinion that we had, I don't think we're going to come to a resolution on this.
Well, Mr. Alatorre?
I'm going to see it. Well, I mean, if you're telling me that there's no point in putting it over for a day to see if you can work it out. If you can't, if you're telling me you're not going to be able to work it out, then I'm going to proceed. So I'm just trying to help.
I have spent a considerable amount of time in this to prepare for this, and I
Right.
really don't appreciate being cut off. Since the meeting started at least 20 minutes late, I could have talked another 20 minutes and still be at
You
this
can
time.
talk how long?
No, I mean, if we would have started at 10 o'clock, I could have talked 20 minutes and be right here at this time now. And this is an ongoing problem of 8 years, and I've been fighting them, and I get mixed answers from all over the different city departments, and they all hide between the code, because this, because that, and that, and it keeps going on and going on.
Yeah, no, then thank you.
Do you want to then conclude your presentation, Mr.?
Finish it, because you're going to get finished.
Okay, Landeris and Building and Safety, and he again confirmed that it is city's responsibility to clean up their properties. Now, what I just read to you is an abridged version of what happened since 1991. I'm here today to ask for fairness. Fairness means that the partnership is only responsible for cleaning and maintaining its own properties, not the city's properties. The partnership should not be penalized for delays for which we have no control, or for mistakes made by the city which have caused the project to be delayed once more. And there's some photos showing the right-of-way. There's a triangular lot where the house was owned by the city, and it's not the partnership's right-of-way. The parkway is not maintained, nor is the parkway along the Highland Bank property to the southwest. And all I ask is that the city clean their portion, regardless of what they call it, right-of-way or whatever it is. They got it 8 years ago, and it had to be right now, and we're still sitting there and waiting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Civic. Mr. Pete Kim, followed by Mr. Charles Church.
Mr. President, I may be able to help you with the Mr. Kim issue. Mr. Kim is a property owner.
You have to speak right into the microphone here.
I'm sorry. Mr. Kim is...
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I haven't speak yet. Can I speak first
Yes.
and then that?
All right, yes, you are entitled to that. Go ahead, Mr. Kim.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, your gentle ladies and gentlemen. I previously owned a land. Now I lost it due to no fault of mine. Even this intelligent future citizen will not believe it if I tell you why. I have a land sitting in LA in between two houses. The area is less than this room. This room is much bigger. Now, the weed cleaning crew, I did clean it up, but they said I did not. But next to the house is a huge mountain empty lot. Okay? Now the city crew cleaned that lot and pushed the garbage into my lot. And when these auditors go there, they just see it and charge me $3,000 something for 32 man powers. And the garbage is more than this room big. This is more than a story that this future citizen will never believe it. Okay? They charged me $3,200 and 32 manpowers to clean the small lot less than this room. So I've been showing him I have outsiders to clean the lot for me for $100. Okay? And then I saw this gentleman sitting there. He did not reveal the case. He did not believe it, and he tell me that I'm a liar. I have showed them all my receipt. Okay? Now, come to the penalty and all kind of things they add on, cost me $65,000. And then they wrote me a letter on March 1st that they are going to initiate a public auction to sell it within this month. So I just want to know, to let everyone know that this is very unfair to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Would the staff like to respond?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, distinguished members of the council. Mr. Kim, this issue that Mr. Kim has brought up is over 5 years old. Mr. Kim has gone through the complete appeal process that the city has outlined. Additionally, he took the city to small claims court. I represented the city in small claims court over Mr. Kim's issue, and he lost.
All right, there's one more person requesting to be heard, Mr. Charles Church.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I originally liked this idea very much. The idea of removing weeds, rubbish, refuge, and or dirt from the streets, sidewalks, parkways, or in front of certain private properties is very appealing. However, it's clear that there's a bit of a problem. I must admit I'm confused. I think this ought to be looked at very carefully. It's absolutely true that sometimes the bureaucracy can absolutely run amok, and this sounds like this may have been, maybe one case where that happens pretty often. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Church. All right, that completes the public hearing. Ms. Staff, want to make any further proposals?
No, sir, at this time, Mr. President, I would just urge passage of the 1999 annual weed abatement ordinance so that we can move forward.
All right, the ordinance is before us on first reading. Is there any discussion, members of council? If not, open the roll, close the roll.
11 eyes.
All right, that item will be back 1 week from today on second reading. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 2, request to be continued until March 23rd.
Without objection, continue item number 2 until March 23rd. Next order.
Items number 3 and 4.
Items 3 and 4 are also public hearing items. There are no cards here. Is anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on either items 3 or 4? If not, the public hearings are closed. Is there any discussion, members of council? If not, open the roll, close the roll.
11 eyes.
Those are approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Items number 6 through 17, items for which public hearings have been held. There's
All
an
right,
amending motion.
on item number 6, would you, for the record, correct the calendar, the agenda? That is in Council District 5 and 2. Which item is that?
Item number 14.
There is a request to be heard on item 14. Are there any specials, members of council, 5 through 17? Any specials, members of council, 5 through 17?
14, I think you're...
14, we have a hearing on, yeah. Any other specials, 5 through 17? If not, open the roll on 5 through 13 and 15 through 17. Close the roll.
11 eyes.
Those items are approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President?
Yes,
Forthwith on 6, please.
Yes, without objection,
And if-
forthwith on item number 6.
And if I might, make a brief introduction of some students and there are teachers here, please.
Please, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you a team from Burbank Elementary School. They are led by their principal, Sharon Green, their lead teacher, Frank Ward, and the person in charge of the student council director, Elena Columbus. With them are students who I'd like to ask to stand, please, and be recognized by the City Council. Welcome today. The only thing I want to ask of the students is, when there are student council meetings at Burbank, would you please pay more attention to each other than it appears we do around this horseshoe, okay? Thanks very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Fuhrer. We're delighted to have your guests with us, and we hope you have a really enjoyable day here in City Hall and come back and visit us again. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Items number 20 through 31, public hearings have not been held.
20 through 31, public hearings have not yet been held. I have cards on 24 and 30. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on any of the items 24 through 31 other than 24 and 30? If so, would you give the clerk a card here? Sergeant, do you want to speak on an item? I saw you raising your hand. Okay, no. All right, members of council, are there any specials 24 through 31? Members of the council, any specials 24 through... Councilwoman Mizikowski calls 28 special. Councilwoman Goldberg calls 29 special, and 24 is a special, and 30 is a special for a hearing. All right, then, open the rolls on 21. Which ones are we on? 20, 21, 25, 26, 27, 30, and 31. Close the roll.
11 eyes.
All right, those items are approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Items number 35 through 41, public hearings have not been held.
Just a minute. 35 through 41. We have 37 as a special. 38 special. There's an amending motion.
Yeah, on item
Ms.
40.
Goldberg calls 40 special.
Ms. Goldberg, on item 40, all the inquiries I had have been addressed, so I was going to just ask we receive and file it.
Okay.
Item 40.
All right, then open the roll then on 35, 36, 40, then,
It's to
and
receive and
41.
file. Item 40 is to be received and filed.
Okay, close the roll.
The one to receive. 11 ayes.
Those are approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
We have closed session items to leave on the table.
Leave those
That
on the table till after the...
Bring us back to item number 14, called
All right,
special.
item number 14, members of council, I have several people who have requested to be heard. I will call the people in the order that I have your cards, and you'll just come forward to the microphone and make your presentation. Mary Greenstein. Mary Greenstein, followed by Scott Wilson. Is Mary Greenstein here? Oh, okay.
Good morning. My name is Mary Greenstein, and I'm speaking on item 14 regarding the urban forestry management motion. I am an urban forester, and I'm also an activist in the city of Los Angeles on urban forestry issues. I was involved in establishing the Community Forest Advisory Committee and was a member for several years. I have a letter that is being passed out. It is from Eric Oldar. He is the state coordinator of the Urban and Community Forestry Division of the State Department of Forestry. And he recommends, as I do, that during this process of getting together an urban forest management program, that we need to consider strongly the services of an outside consulting firm to provide the expertise so that we are not blindsided. And his sentence here in his last paragraph is, I would strongly question if you currently have the capacity and knowledge within your ranks today. And I'd like to emphasize that what we need is an assessment of what has been going on with the management of our trees. They have been mismanaged, as they have heard in the council subcommittee meetings over the last several months. And I would like to support the hiring of an urban forester. That is also in this item number 14, as does the state forester. Also likes to commend you on that, that item, to establish a position of an urban forester. And the third concern I have is that there's not enough public input, that this would be an in-house look at what is going on in-house, and I believe that we need the Community Forestry Advisory Committee to be the, have more input on this process, and that's why we established the Community Forestry Advisory Committee 7 years ago. We had an urban forest task force with all the different city agencies. Council came up with create Community Forest Advisory Committee. I think the working group is redundant. All of these committees are already represented, are supposed to attend CFAC meetings. So I just like to recommend that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Greenstein. There are quite a few people that have filled out cards, so I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to call them in the order that I have them here, but I'm going to ask you to sort of not repeat each other, but add to what other people have said so that we can move. Scott Wilson?
Good morning. My name is Scott Wilson. I'm chairman of the Community Forest Advisory Committee for the City of Los Angeles, and we have been charged with the oversight of the urban forest. And as such, I don't think that we really appreciate the extent of this. The street trees bring a benefit to the City of Los Angeles of some $100 million a year based on the benefits to the citizens of air quality and a variety of other issues. And this is just one part of the urban forest. We also have the recreation parks, for all our parks services there, the trees there, and we also have the Department of Water and Power, their efforts. We have the school districts, we have all the private communities, and we have probably $500 million worth of benefit that come to the citizen, and it's being looked at piecemeal. It's not being looked at by an overall view, and we believe that this is desirable. The Community Forest Advisory Committee has come forward with some recommendations, and we believe that it's important to us, in order to lead to the selection of an urban forester that oversight for the entire city, is all the city trees, is to have an outside consultant. When we have worked with other issues such as recycling, we brought in outside consultants to look at this. We have brought in planning directors. We have brought in the head of the new general manager of the Department of Water and Power. When we need outside help, we go and get it. I equate this possibility we have of doing the same thing here, and with an investment of this much money, certainly we can afford to do what we're proposing to do here, and we need to have this, and as well as two other items that are on the agenda today. One of them has to do with the Cool Communities, which talks about another 200,000 trees to be added to the city. And in addition to that, the strategic plan, all of which are part of the bigger picture, and this works towards it by hiring an outside consultant to bring us the professional skills that we need, training that we need to lead the city into this new millennium. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Ann Venino, followed by, and after Ms. Venino, Sharon Romano.
Good morning. My name is Ann Venino. I am a resident of Woodland Hills and a business owner in the city of Los Angeles. My love of nature and concern for the environment brought me to Los Angeles in 1987. Previous to my present occupation as a coach and management consultant, I had a 21-year career in the environmental health and safety field. That career included working at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, working for 2 Los Angeles environmental engineering firms, and owning my own environmental consulting firm in the city of Los Angeles for 6 years. I am here before you today to express my deep concern over the substandard methods used in the care of city trees. The motion before you presents an excellent approach for addressing this problem by calling for an independent assessment of the city's tree care methods by urban forestry experts and the appointment of a full-time urban forester position to be responsible and accountable for the management of Los Angeles's urban forest. As you move forward, I urge the Council to provide for consistent and meaningful participation of the public in every phase of this process. Citizen participation is the stimulus that brought this issue before you today. Anything less than full public participation will result in an inferior outcome. As a citizen of Los Angeles, I urge you to adopt this strategy to ensure the proper care and protection of the Los Angeles urban forest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Venino. Sharon Romano, followed by Michelle Gardner.
Good morning. Item number 14 represents a very significant shift in the consciousness of the city of Los Angeles toward trees. And we're very appreciative of all the work that happened through the efforts of the CFAC, many community members, the Environmental Quality Committee, the Public Works Committee, and the city departments that participated in creating this item. I do have 2 concerns about it, however, not to be redundant. I'm very concerned that this is an in-house effort and that the city doesn't currently have on staff the expertise needed to move the city forward in making this transition to a different level of tree care maintenance and an attitude toward trees and ecosystem management. And we do need the outside assessment and support from other consultants to bring the city to that place and to assist us and support us. And secondly, I'm very concerned about public participation. The public did bring this item to the council. This has been an ongoing issue for about a year now, and my concern that the CFAC and other members of the community are part of the ongoing process and are watchdogs in this process is a grave concern. When things are done in-house, we tend not to explore all of the issues, and we tend not to see things from all perspectives. The CFAC has been encouraged by the Environmental Quality and Public Works Committee to work on a scope of services for a management audit. We are in the process of doing that. We would like that scope of services to be the RFP that's produced by the city to bring in the auditor, and we would like the auditor to work with the CFAC as well as the working group that's been proposed and with the full community. And we would like to see the CFAC be instrumental in this whole transition. And I would appreciate your support for the motion, but I would like to see it amended in those ways.
All right, thank you, Ms. Romano. Michelle Gardner, followed by Teresa Sanchez.
Hi, good morning. My name is Michelle Gardner. I'm here as a concerned citizen and as a business property owner in the city of Los Angeles. In the bigger picture, we don't truly own anything. We're here as stewards of this earth. And recognizing this, some of us take it upon ourselves to make the environment a key issue. Let us please continue to call for continuous public support and input. Citizen participation in the development and ongoing management of our urban forest is essential, and it's urgent that we have an independent assessment of the city's tree care methods by an urban forestry expert. Please, our environment needs your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gardner. Teresa Sanchez, followed by Robert Hanson.
Good morning, council members. My name is Teresa Sanchez from Local 347, and I just wanted to speak on behalf of the motion this morning. I agree with the previous speakers that it represents a very important collaborative effort to resolve the citywide issues around protecting our urban forest. I wanted to particularly take note of item number 12 in the motion that talks about working collaboratively with labor and management to develop standards for training and certification for city tree workers. We strongly support that effort, and we'll do everything we can to collaborate on a program. I also wanted to ask that on the first item, when it talks about the formation of the working group, that we consider appointing or electing tree workers to that working group to also participate in developing that citywide coordinated effort. And also to say once again before you that we are in support of an audit of the citywide tree services. We're not afraid of that. We think that that's going to show where we can improve and where we're doing better and where we're competitive and you know, the strengths and the weaknesses, and we're not afraid of that, and we encourage you to consider that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez. Robert Hanson, followed by Mary Jo Walker.
Good morning to all of you. I've been in the tree care business. This is my 42nd year. I've been a consulting arborist since 1963. I'm a licensed contractor with the state of California. I'm a certified arborist. I'm a registered consulting arborist with the American Society of Consulting Arborists. And I could go on, but that's enough. In my dealings with the city of Los Angeles in the last 35 or more years, I've never found the street tree department to be devious or underhanded in any of their dealings with me or showing preferential treatment to me in any permit that I've ever received from them. I've been expected by my friends there to uphold the standards of the city and live by what they said, which I've done, and I respect them for their position. The biggest problem I see with the city of Los Angeles and the street maintenance is their lack of personnel. I find there are good people in the street tree department, but I do find that throughout the city there are trees that have to be pruned now, maybe not by the standard of the ANSI A300, because of years of neglect in the past. Due to lack of manpower. The city is full of, in my opinion, hazard trees, which are accidents ready to happen, which need prompt attention. So if there are plenty of good people in the state of California to assist the street tree department who are qualified people, who are qualified arborists, who are qualified managers of trees, both as far as residents and as far as dealing with thousands of trees at one time. So I would recommend that the street tree department, in fact, those who care for trees throughout the city of Los Angeles, be given the tools, that is, in human power and equipment to properly care for the trees. And I believe you have good people in those departments that will do it if they're given the opportunity and the support to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Mary Jo Walker, followed by Silva Blackstone.
Good morning. My name is Mary Jo Walker, a concerned citizen for the City of Los Angeles. I'm also a representative of CFAC from Council District 15. I'm here to ask you to please, we need an outside assessment so that we can move forward. We do not have staff in each department that can be able to do this project. We all know what we are doing, cutting staff every time the budget comes forward. We're cutting projects, but this is one project that needs to go ahead, not for just us, but for the future of the City of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Silva Blackstone is the last card I have.
Good morning. Silva Blackstone. I am a certified arborist, and I'm here to speak on behalf of a citywide assessment of the urban forest issues. And I don't believe we need more personnel. I believe that we need better pruning. We perhaps need less pruning. This is a perfect opportunity, perfect time of year for everyone to go and see in all our city streets how the tops have been removed from all the trees. The tops just chopped right off. And I don't think we need more of that kind of pruning. We don't need more people to do more of that kind of pruning. We need an assessment so we know why that's going on and how we can stop it. Thank you very much.
All right, that completes the public hearing. The chair recognizes Councilwoman Misikowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. As many of the speakers indicated, we had a number of hearings in the Environmental Quality and Waste Management and Public Works Committee together on this matter and struggled with the citizen participation and the agency participation. There are over 1.9 million trees in the city, which the various city departments are responsible for. The majority of those are handled by the Bureau of Street Trees, the Department of Rec and Parks, and the Department of Water and Power. There has been an ongoing Community Forest Advisory Committee that has been at work for about 5 years, but in some instances trying to get answers to the questions, trying to get consistency when each of the departments and each of the agencies each indicate that they use the best management practices already in place, they use the standards established for urban forestry and tree trimming, and yet we saw result after result of topped trees, cut trees in an inappropriate manner, trees that died because of the trimming that was done to them, and very, very haphazard indications of care and concern that was given to our trees. Now, this does not mean that it's an indictment of the policy, but it is clearly an indictment of the process of how we work together to communicate and coordinate. Over the last 8 years, the urban forest advocates have struggled to develop an accountable management system. And what we tried to do in items 13, 14, and 28, which are before us, is to create a comprehensive approach for dealing with this problem and really create a sustainable urban forest. In part, we know what part of the problem is, that we've had severe budget cuts, and the Bureau of Street Services, our main agency that is responsible for dealing with those street trees that we see regularly, had significant budget cuts and fell back in the early 90s to a 21-year cycle on cutting trees, and we've seen the results of that. So I think what we are coming up with in recommending a number of items specifically on this is something that I like to call tree CPR, care, planting, and replacement. And that's what the bulk of our report is dealing with, underscoring each of that and underscoring the management in the best practice possible. Probably the most significant portion of this report and I think it responds directly to what the citizens were asking for, is the creation of a sustainable urban forest work group, pulling together all of the agencies in the city which are truly responsible for our trees to create a comprehensive management approach. The Community Forest Advisory Committee, the citizens from whom you heard, are to be a part of that work group. Moreover, one of the specific recommendations is that we fund, through the Department of Public Works, a staff support and mechanism to give the support structure to the Community Forest Advisory Committee. So there will be cross-integration, that the community citizen foresters will be on the Sustainable Urban Work Task Force, which is our city agencies, and conversely, they are required to meet with the Community Forest Advisory Committee. So we will have cross-communication and information. The other most significant recommendation that came from the Community Forest Advisory Committee was the need of an urban forester. And when we see that, in fact, we have multiple agencies issuing contracts, some doing the work in-house, some issuing it with contracts. We have some citizens out there who are going and doing work themselves without permits on city trees. So we have a whole array of people trimming our trees, some with permits and some without, and with non-uniform standards imposed. So the purpose of this is to create that uniformity, and I think it is best done by the creation of an urban forester position. And this report asks the CAO and the CLA to work to create that urban forester position and identify which agency within the various city departments that position is best filled. One of the problems that I had earlier with the management audit is that the management audit had focused on one agency, and that is the Bureau of Street Trees. And yet the Bureau of Street Trees is only responsible for 36% of the city's street tree work. So what the management audit and an assessment really ought to do is, how do we comprehensively create a uniform policy across all the agencies? And I think what we've heard from the community is that that is best done by an outside consultant, or a recommendation that the management assessment would best be created by an oversight position called the urban forester, which would have the ability to implement and make recommendations and enforce those policies across the board on multiple agencies. It's not something that the city is used to in its various agency departmental structures, but I think it is really called for, and this report asks for that. We are doing an awful lot today, and different from where we were 5 years ago, which is the last time the city looked at this. We have the CAO's report, which is now recognizing that our trees, with well-managed trees, with trees that are producing positive air quality benefits, that we in the city can gain some economic benefits from that in terms of trade-offs on our air quality program by a strong, enforceable, measurable air quality increment that is improved by trees in our city. That we hadn't had 5 years ago. We have it now with the CAO's backing. There are other real programs that are out there. There's something called Cool Schools that I think many of us have seen in terms of the benefits of the cooling going on in our schools, the replacement of asphalt and the planting of trees in and around the structures of our schoolyards. We have the Proposition BB campus greening, which was a part of the specific implementation from the Proposition BB funds. We have a project called TREES, which is a trans-agency environment and economic sustainability program worked through the tree people with the Department of Water and Power funding, which does incredible things in terms of recognizing that stormwater staying on property is more valuable than stormwater running off into our systems that are not able to manage it. We have a program called Green Power, which is also recognizing and understanding that sustainable building techniques in terms of roof color, other kinds of materials are going to help overall in our air quality programs. So in conjunction with all of these programs, in conjunction with the information that much of it which has been brought forward by our citizens on the CFAC, we are embarking in this program on a new strategy to urge tree planting, tree care, tree replacement as a bulwark of a sustainable urban forest program. There are 8 specific actions immediately for the urban forest work group, the Sustainable Urban Forest Work Group in-house, to come back to. We will be through committees, looking at this on a quarterly basis, and that is a report not only from our Sustainable Urban Forest Work Group, but also the CFAC as to how it's going, what the strategies are being recommended, and what we need to do to implement it. I think we are on a very good course. I'd like to specifically thank, and I know we have in the audience, if there are other questions, folks here from the Bureau Street Tree, from Rec and Parks, from DWP, and I would personally like to thank all the members of CFAC who participated. In addition, Barb Garrett from the CLA's office did a masterful work in pulling this all together. As you can see, there are 24 specific different recommendations across agencies to incorporate these elements that are recommended. And I ask my colleagues to support this. I understand there are a number of other amendments to enhance and advance the recommendations in the report, and I think that they each are merited, and look forward to working with everyone, both in the departments and the citizen group, to move forward and really create a sustainable urban forest in the city of Los Angeles.
Thank you, Councilwoman Miscowski. Members of Council, we're going to go back to the 3 minutes. I gave Ms. Miscowski longer because she's the committee chair, and also because it's a very long and comprehensive and excellent report. So there are 2 amendments. Ms. Goldberg has one, and Mr. Hernandez has one. So let me call Ms. Goldberg first.
Yes, I'd like to move 14A to amend the report. And it calls for, in the second paragraph, an management assessment which shall include a performance audit of tree care services provided by city staff and its contractors, the Bureau of Street Services, the Department of Recreation and Parks, and the Department of Water and Power. We want all of them to be in there, not one or the other. And the $200,000 has been identified by the Department of Water and Power for this purpose. And therefore, we will add H, if this is passed, and I hope it will, to seek outside consultant services as funding is identified, which it is identified from DWP, from experts in the field of urban forestry to conduct this assessment. And secondly, this calls for instructing the CAO to incorporate the recommendations of the CFAC in preparing the RFP, and within 60 days of completion of the audit, a report made to the council by the CFAC and the working group. I thank you, Councilmember Miscowski, for a second, and want to just say that it is everything that you said about this not being about blame is exactly right, because the problem, I think, will be shown to be that we just have not put enough money into this area. I was most horrified when a contractor on Echo Park Avenue, a street I travel literally every day of my life, just chopped off the tops of all the trees, and the whole neighborhood was like speechless. It was like a gasp. You could hear it audibly as people drove down the street the next day. It was just appalling. So I think this will help us come up with some uniform guidelines. Will, I hope, identify the need for additional resources, but certainly at a minimum it will help us try not to do any more harm and in the name of good, and get to where we need to go. And I thank both you and Councilmember Walters for your leadership in this matter.
Chair recognizes Councilman Hernandez.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, I also want to stand to commend the work of the committee and Councilmember Miscowski in regards to addressing a lot of the issues that came before us. Members of the council, I'm also moving motion 14B that was also signed by Councilmember Miscowski, and basically it does 2 things. One, it directs the Working Urban Forest Work Group to investigate the establishment of an Adopt a Tree program, which is a program we've talked about, and we just wanted to make sure it moves on and that they move in that direction. And second, one of the comments made by the chairwoman, Miscowski, was that it had taken 5 years. And what I'm asking is, in regards to these recommendations and the implementation of this program, that there be another report, because I know they'll be reporting quarterly, but a report 6 months from today that basically asks the Community Advisory Committee, the CFAC, as well as the work group and the CAO to report back as to the implementation of these recommendations, so that at that time we could have an analysis as to what's working, what's not working, and what might need to change. I think that the question of trust has been also a question of how do you deal with a huge system. And as Chairman Miskowski shared with all of us, a lot of programs have come to be that basically reflect the will of a city to save its trees, to create trees, and to have the greening of a city. But those are fairly recent programs. And we've come a long ways from where we were 5 years ago, and the reality is that an ongoing working group is part of what we need to have going, and I think it's going to take the cooperation of policymakers like ourselves. And so having them report back in 6 months and tell us where we are in the implementation, allowing the CFAC to report back to the committee itself, I think gives them that greater voice that they were seeking, and us knowing exactly where we are in the implementation of these recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Councilman Miskowski, would you accept the two amendments as part of yours? Yeah, then we could just open the roll on the item with the both amendments included. Open the roll, close the roll.
11 ayes.
That's approved as amended. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 24.
24, there's a request to be heard from the public. Mr. Leonard Shapiro, item 24.
Mr. President and council members, item 24 concerns the changing of five different ordinances regarding the forensic print specialists and polygraph examiners. And in the course of asking for these changes, it's mentioned that there's 39 vacancies in this bureau or section. I'd like to know why there are 39 vacancies that exist right now. We know all the problems that came to fore about the laboratory, the police laboratories in LA during the O.J. Simpson case, where they were criticized severely for having not improper care and improper procedures in operating. Well, what do you expect if you're running a department with 39 vacancies? And what they're concerned with more than getting the vacancies filled is the fact they want to change the type of specialty that each person has, and the net effect of this whole thing is going to be that it's going to cost the city a few dollars less than it did before. That isn't the main point. Whether it costs $20 or $30 or $40,000 less than the city is saving out. The point is, here you have a department that's been criticized in the past, and they should make some methods. A message should go out that that it's intolerable that you could have 39 vacancies, and the 39 vacancies should have more emphasis placed on them rather than the changing of the categories and changing of the salary pay scales. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. That closes the public hearing. Any discussion, members of council? Open the roll. Close the roll.
11 ayes.
That's approved. Next order.
The ordinance will be held over 1 week.
Yes, without next order.
Item number 28, called special by Councilmember Miskowski.
Chair recognize. There you are. Good day for the trees.
Mr. President, item 28 is really a part of the report we made earlier on item 14. This is the specific strategic plan that was recommended by the Community Forest Advisory Council, and it's been incorporated in all of the steps we're taking with item 14.
All right, open the roll, close the roll.
11 ayes.
That's approved. Next order, item 29.
Yes.
I think Ms. Goldberg called that special. Ms. Goldberg's questions have been answered. Any other discussion on item 29? Open the roll. Close the roll.
11 ayes.
That's approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 30, called special.
All right, there's a request to be heard. Mr. Leonard Shapiro, item number 30.
Mr. President and council members, item number 30 concerns a pet project of the City Council, the BIDs, the Business Improvement Districts. Now, you've been doing what you can, and I believe there's about between 10 and 15 functioning BIDs in the city, and there's applications for approximately 50 or 60, a lot of them in the process. But now you got this area where you're getting problems in the downtown center business improvement district because they're being asked for too much money. They claim they can't establish it, the amount of money, but that the permit fees, which are set by the police commission. And then on top of that, the fees, which they say is too much for them, right now would give them a burden. The private patrol colors, all of a sudden the police commission decided only gray uniforms will work. And this downtown BID says that they have theme colors, and they'd rather put the people who are patrolling the districts in the theme colors for a better answer. Now, you're looking into this matter, but because there's a deadline of April 1st, 1999, that the commission has notified the BID that it will commence enforcement of the citation effective April 1st, so that you don't have too much time on your hands to correct this matter. But if you think that the BIDs are worthy, and most of them are, although a few of them I have a lot of doubts about, but most of them are, and if the people themselves in the area have agreed that they will pay additional taxes, my God, as long as they want to pay the taxes willingly, it's not enforced on them, they should be given a lot of cooperation. And if you're having problems with the police commission because they want certain colors and the permit fees are a little bit too high for an organization first starting out, I think that council should give it its utmost attention. I see you are going to do that. In the bottom, you move that the city council request the police commission to cease their enforcement action against the BID, and I'm in favor of this particular action, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shapiro. That closes the public hearing. Is there any discussion, members of council? Open the roll. Close the roll.
11 ayes.
That's approved. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 37, called special.
All right, let me just call. There are two people wishing to address the council.
Jackie, 37?
Yeah, I'd like to continue this till Friday when we have everybody here.
Is it all right with Mr. Graham and Mr. Sands that you'll continue this, your testimony then until Friday? Probably be easy that way. All right. Then, without objection, this item will be continued to Friday and the public hearing will remain open. Next order.
Item number 38.
Item number 38, I believe Ms. Walters has an amending motion.
The amending motion has already been circulated.
38A, all right.
President, it's 38A, and the amending portion to this motion is underlined in the copies of 38A.
All right.
So it's a technical adjustment.
Let's open the roll then on 38 with the amendment. Close the roll.
11 ayes.
All right, that's approved as amended. Next order.
On the table is the closed session items. Would you wish to take public comment first?
Yes, we'll go to public comment before the closed session. This is public comment on items that are not on the agenda. Mr. Alatorre?
Budget and Finance Committee is going to be canceled for today. We'll meet next.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Alatorre. Let me call the people Leonard Rose, Dee Leaning, and Leonard Shapiro.
Okay, I got a small speech here to our city council. I would like you guys, one of the processing number 1 and up, yes or no vote by year 2000. It's up to American people in the United States of America. It's up to the state and people to build any more prisons in our city. It costs too many taxpayer money, too much money to support inmate, build more jails and prison, like years back, 1900s, 1800s. People are not safe in the close-by neighborhood area because they're afraid of the inmate who escaped from prison. I heard last week, March 1999, on TV, there is 8 million people in prison around the world. There will be more after that. Think about this, how taxpayers pay so much them. And one more thing, we need federal government to investigate TV, PG, Radio R, theater, HBO, cable TV, video film sold in video store, and it is on cable nationwide. It's important to stop this where ideas how to do those crime, even cartoons, so children to learn how to write Wall Street areas in all cities, even homosexuality on TV like Jerry Springer show, so violent, sex fighting, even after so over, when they go home, will kill that person who's still their ex-lover, and they will be up in prison or jail time, and half percent do over, and half just leave and pack up and go away. They can impact on our children and family. Thank you to make this nation more better than ever before. And here are copies of all the paper here.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. D. Leaning.
Yes, good morning. Leaning Sunland Tahunga. Tomorrow everyone's Irish, so happy St. Paddy's Day. Last Friday, March 12th, in public comment, a gentleman said the number of council members should not be increased. I will go him one better. I say downsize, decrease the number of council members. I will elaborate next time I speak. Today I'm presenting a good news, bad news proposition. The good news, you can be rid of moi with very little effort. All you have to do is to convince the council member for Sunland Tahunga not to run for re-election, or by now it is probably, quote, pull out. As the member for Eagle Rock, El Sereno, is not running because she wants to spend more time with her ill mother, you might suggest that the Sunland Tahunga member do likewise. Now, the bad news. You will be hearing moi for another 4 depressing years, should this member again be elected. As the old saying goes, the ball is now in your court. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leaning. Mr. Leonard Shapiro?
Mr. President, I'd like to talk to you about the second controversial audit that was just released last week about the Information Technology Agency, the ITA. Now, this audit was sent to most of the members of the City Council and the Mayor, Reardon, Ferrara, Alatorre, Fewer, Walters, Wax, Chick, Ridley, Thomas, Hernandez, Burnson. So what I'm saying isn't exactly new news if you've read it. If you've read it. Now, I'd like to point out that it's very important. They have 2 major findings. One of the findings is that the ITA did not adequately monitor the accuracy of franchise fees. Now, the franchise fees that were set up originally for the 13 cable companies amounted to 5% of their gross income. Now, if you let people pay 5% of their gross, and you don't check on what the gross is, then there's going to be a lot of money short. And the auditor warned you that there's going to be a lot of money short. And on top of that, there was audits conducted by other people, and they found in the course of 5 years, from December 1991 to 1995, that they audited 7 companies out of the 13 that existed, and they never audited 6 at all. They were never audited. But of the 7 that they did audit, they found $569,000 worth of short pays with the interest and the penalties. Now, there was also $21,000 in franchise fees from 2 companies that were not collected. Now, if the city is going to set up laws by which you say you're going to charge cable companies money, and they're supposed to pay taxes, and they do pay substantial taxes. It was $15 million last year, and it's been building up with the last 5 years. They warned the ITA that you better get your act in order, and you better start getting auditors of your own. Or if you can't get your own auditors, hire some. Because the auditing department which you have in the city, for my money, is one of the best auditing departments in the entire Southern California. And they're going to request 10 additional auditors so they can do their work. Right now, not 1/4 of the departments that need auditing are audited. So here they're trying to tell the ITA, get your own auditors and audit yourself. You were told when you took over in '95 that you have to audit all these fees. Why don't you do it? They said they gave an answer right in here. They had more important things to do than to just check out the audits and to check out the fees that were paid to them. In addition, there's fees that are paid so much on each line. And if you're going to let these people go on this basis, it's awful. And on top of the second finding that these auditors told you is that they don't have proper insurance. They claim that when they signed the contract with you, which is still going to be in existence for the next 4 years, that the contract says you will carry proper insurance. They mentioned 5 different types that they need, and nobody had it. So when they raised the point, then the ITA got after the companies, and they produced the proper insurance, showing that they can do it. But between the 2 recommendations, one, that they need audits to find out that the people who are filing reports are filing correct reports, and that they keep a list of all the proper insurance on file and current, and it wasn't kept current at all. So I think that in view of the fact that it was just 2 months ago that the ITA was criticized for losing $800,000 in penalties and fees to telephone companies, and now this one is coming up, that they're very careless and very lackadaisical about collecting fees that are due to the city. And we're talking about $15 million of fees, which are rising up in all probability to $20 million in not a too long time. And they're very lackadaisical about it. They don't know if it's important enough for them to check on. I think the city auditor, controller, has issued you a red flag and issued you a warning about this department. 2 red flags, in fact, and I think the council should do something about it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shapiro. That closes the public hearing. Would the sergeant prepare the room for the executive session? Yeah. Yeah. All right, would the audience and the council please wait? No, before we do that, we have to take a vote. We have item
number 33B.
Item 33A. Let's see, 33A is going to
No, there's
be
no,
continued. Well, will be continued till a later meeting, since there wasn't a resolution of that. 33B is before us. What is the motion?
The motion is to authorize the city attorney to expend $424,825.55 in settlement of case.
All right, open the roll, close the roll.
10 ayes.
That's approved. Next order.
Council members request to be excused.
All right.
Councilmember Wax requests to be excused April 6th, April 23rd, April 27th, 28th, and 30th for personal business.
All right. Any others, Mr.
Councilmember Galanter requests to be excused for today.
That's approved.
And that's it. The desk is clear.
All right. Would the audience, the council, please rise for adjourning motions? Mr. Savornich?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of Miriam Kay, who passed away on March 4th. She grew up in Walden, New York, and graduated from Cornell University, moved to San Pedro in 1959, where she taught adult education classes for 22 years. She graduated from USC in 1974 and became a marriage, family, and child counselor where she was in private practice for 25 years. She is survived by her husband, Alvin Cheerful Alkay, owner of Union War Surplus in downtown San Pedro, a daughter, Ellen, a son, Michael, 2 grandchildren, 2 brothers, and a sister. She was loved by her family, will be missed by all.
Mr. Holden, did you have one?
Yes, Mr. President and members, we sadly announce that we join the memory of a young man who's done so much for our young youth in the field of art, Mr. Tim Fields. He was a Los Angeles artist who worked with the school children to create 53 murals around the city. He worked closely with troubled youth and believed in the redeeming value of art. He was known for his knack of communicating with children who had no opportunity for art training at schools or at home. Often he worked with the kids to cover graffiti-marred areas and quake-cracked walls and stone fronts. Most recently, he worked with the Cultural Affairs Department, Mid-City Regional Art Council in my district, where he was an important contributor to the group. A memorial service will be planned in April in Los Angeles. Incidentally, he was a graduate of Illinois State University, and he died at a very young age, inflammation, I think, of chest, 35 years old. Yeah. This man did a lot, promising and supportive of our youth, East LA, South Central, and of course Hollywood. He resided in John Ferrara's district, worked in all of our district, asked me to present.
I'd like to second that. He was really pretty terrific. I have, first I'd like the council to adjourn in the memory of Dora Elner, who is the mother-in-law of my executive secretary, Evelyn Elmer, and the funeral was held yesterday. Neeson Himmel, I guess it's Neeson Himmelstein, but I always knew him as Neeson Himmel, who was one of the reporters who was covering City Hall when I first became a council member, and was really truly liked and respected by everyone and his peers as well. And I would like the council to adjourn in memory also of Dr. Catherine Marmer. She was a really beautiful woman, not only the wife of the remarkable Dr. Judd Marmer, whose research has been extraordinarily important, but she herself was probably one of the leading practitioners of suicide prevention and worked for the Los Angeles Suicide Prevention for many, many years, and was a great patron of the arts and an exquisite lady, and will be deeply missed. And I'll give the clerk the pertinent information. Call the roll, Mr. Clerk. Council's adjourned.
You are watching LA City View, Channel 35.
We now join our scheduled program in progress.